this stand for the neighborhood party.
Right on. Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we are smoking Astrolab's Guava Cot Kush. It's light speed, live rosin, cold cured, and it's 73.5% THC, 1.3 milligrams of CBD, and 7.9% terps. What's the terp profile on this? Does it say? I don't have my glasses, so I don't fucking know. It doesn't say. At least not in print that I can read. So we're smoking that in the Stoonin' glass. And then I also got my hands on a little sample pre-roll of, what is it? Cherry Sour Squad infused pals. They're they come in packages of 5 half grams. These ones are 40%. I think they're infused with live resin. Could be distillate, but it's pretty tasty. Definitely tastes like cherry, and it's definitely a little sour, because if I remember correctly, I think that these ones have they infuse the paper, so it gives you that sour flavor. It's not like crazy, but it's enough to make it taste like a candy versus a joint. So we're gonna smoke that as the pre-roll. And I'm also drinking a Malo 10, which is, if I remember correctly, they're made by Labatt, but they're weed infused. They're 10% or 10 milligrams of THC and then 10 milligrams of CBG. I like CBG because it makes you whoop whoop upbeat. So yeah, thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, on Friday at 4:20 to start your weekend off right, baby. I hope the week's been good to you. I hope that all your goals and your dreams and all your aspirations are getting there. Yeah, I hope you're having a good time, and I hope life is treating you well. I thought in this episode, since I've talked a lot about dumb shit while I'm high, like dumb high things that I've done, I guess, I would tell you, I think, one of my favorite drunk stories. Now, some of you might think lesser of me after this. Some of you might not. I don't know. But I think we're going to find out. So, Tyler and I were at work the other day, and we were just talking, like shooting the shit, just talking garbage about whatever, you know? And at some point, we were talking about different nights where we had got, a little too inebriated and things went a little awry. So I was telling him about this time so I went to university when I was like, I was 18. I went to university. I went to York University for a year. I did not do well. I think I barely passed. If I passed, I can't remember. It was so long ago. But I used that year to basically refine my partying skills. And I'm good at partying. Well, I'm good at drinking anyway. So I spent the year drinking with the football players and a couple other people that I met throughout the year. But my first, I guess it was like the first night I went out there. My first real, let's get drunk. Because I would also work. So I also had a job. I worked concert security. So a lot of, Thursday, Friday nights, I would be working a security, a show, a concert, and I wouldn't get the chance to go out. So I think this one night, I had the chance to, drink all day and then go out to the bar for, the first time. My roommate at the time had a wheelchair for a desk chair. He was not in the wheelchair. He just stole the wheelchair from his grandmother. Or grandfather, I think it was, and brought it to school and used it as a desk chair. So on weekends and when we were just fucking hanging out, we would take the wheelchair and see who could do wheelies and who could make it around the hall, make it into a little game. So this one day, my parents had just got back from a trip to the States, so they brought me back a 30-pack of Bud Light or something. And I think I had bought myself a 60 of vodka or they gave me vodka. I can't remember. But either way, I ended up with a shit ton of vodka and I ended up with a 30-pack of beer. Okay? And this was a day that I actually ended up having like the whole day off. I didn't have to worry about anything. I was just hanging out, having a good time, doing my shit. And so we're all just hanging out. It's one of the first weeks. It wasn't Frosh Week, but it was one of the first weeks. I know I'm rambling. Sorry. I'm trying to get to the point. So I start drinking screwdrivers. And we started drinking at like maybe 1 in the afternoon, okay? I'm telling you, yeah, we had lunch. We woke up, we went out, we had lunch, we got back to the room, and we just started drinking. So, oh no, sorry, first, okay, so there's a part 1 and 2 to this story. So the first thing that happened was we went to lunch, we came back, or we had lunch, we came back, we decided we needed a couple cases of beer for like, a bunch of the guys wanted beer. So me and one of the other guys decided we'd strap on our rollerblades, take the wheelchair, and go get beer. Okay? So it wasn't that far. It was like maybe, 5K or whatever. And so we rollerblade out there, taking turns pushing each other in the chair to the beer store. We load up the wheelchair with the beer and then headed back. They didn't have some of the stuff we wanted, so we didn't have as much beer. So again, we took turns hopping in the wheelchair, holding the beer, because we had rollerblades. So you just, everything had wheels. So we would take turns pushing each other. We get back to campus, and I'm in the wheelchair, okay? No, we had put the beer... No, wait, was I in the wheelchair? Yes, I was in the wheelchair. One of us was in the wheelchair. And we come around this corner of the building we have to go into, and across the way is a family going for, like a tour of the school. And the kid is in a wheelchair. Oh, it's so bad. We're going to hell. And so we stop. We're like, fuck. And so whoever's in the chair hops out of the chair. We put the beer in the chair. And the mom goes, honey, look at those guys. Look what they're using the chair for. And we're like, fuck. She pointed us out, dude. So she points us out. The kid's clearly not impressed. The dad gives us a nasty look, and the mom thinks it's hilarious. And I'm like, oh fuck, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die horrible deaths, and we're all going to hell because of this fucking wheelchair. So you would think that I would learn my lesson. I did not learn my lesson. So we got the beer. We ended up going upstairs. I think it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We decided that we're gonna start drinking. So instead of being on team beer, even though I just gone to get beer, I decided I wanted to drink the vodka. So I started drinking screwdrivers, just vodka and orange juice. Before I knew it, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had drank the whole bottle of vodka. Okay? My recollection is that there may not, I say I drank the whole bottle, but there may not have been, a full bottle. You know what I'm saying? It may have been... It may have just been like a half bottle or something, whatever. Point is, whatever was left, I drank the whole thing. So after I drink that thing, we start drinking beer. Now, I am hammered, but I haven't got up. So I don't know that I'm hammered yet because I've been sitting in the wheelchair pretty much the entire afternoon. So we get some food. I figure out I'm hammered. So I think I actually got somebody to bring food back for me because I was still drinking. So after we have dinner, we continue to drink. It's I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 at night, and everybody's like, okay, let's go to the bar. Now, first of all, I know I'm trashed, okay? So I'm like, I can't walk to the bar, so I'm taking the chair with me. And so my roommate's like, fine, let's see if you could get in. Also, I was only 18 at the time, okay? So I had to, and the ID I had was my roommate's older brother, who in the ID was 24, I think. At 18, I looked like I was maybe, face-wise, I had a baby face. I looked like, in the face, I was about 15, 16 years old. Okay? My size, I was bigger, but my face was very much a child. Okay? And so, I was like, there's no way, and it didn't match the ID. So, and the ID was this guy weighs 100 and fucking, 75 pounds. I was 250 at the time. Just, And so, So I'm looking at it, and they're like, okay, come to the bar with us. I'm like, fine, but I got to bring the chair. So my roommate gives me his buddy's ID or his brother's ID. I take the old copy of this ID. We go down to the bar, which is in the basement of the residence, right? And as we're in line, I'm like, fuck, dude, they're looking too hard at all the IDs. Like, there's no way I'm getting in. I don't look anything like this guy. I'm not the right size, the right weight, like anything, right? There's no matching features. There's not even a chance, you know? And so I fucking roll up in line, okay? And I roll up on the wheelchair beside the bouncer. I give him my ID. Now I'm looking up at the bouncer and I'm like, fuck, he's not buying it. He's not going for it. He's like twisting the ID every which way he can and like, you know, looking at it twice, looking it over, fucking flicking the edges. You know what I mean? And so as I start to realize that he's not going to go for it and he's not falling for it, I was like, fuck, I got to do something. I got to get in. So I stand up out of the chair and I go, hallelujah. I'm healed. It's a wonderful day. I don't know why I did it like that, but that's what I did. And I hopped out of this fucking chair. This dude started laughing so hard. He looks at me, he goes, okay, look, this ID's bullshit, but for that, go inside. He's like, but stay in the chair. So I go, fine, I can handle that. I'll just stay in the chair. No problem, right? So we wheel inside. Everybody in line is kind of laughing except for some of the women. The women did not like that. Dudes were like, ladies were like, that guy's a fucking dick. He's an asshole. It was so bad. But I thought it was funny. I don't know. I thought it was pretty fucking funny. So we get into the bar. Now, keep in mind, okay, the chair is basically what's keeping me, like, in the game. Because if I had to walk, I'd have been crawling my way across the fucking floor, okay? I've already drank a shit ton of vodka. I had a few more beers before we left. We get to the bar. We order pitchers immediately. So my buddy, who came with me to the beer store earlier in the day, he wheels me up to this, like, circular table in this bar. There's a dartboard behind the table, and then there's, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 chairs around this circle table, right? So as we're sitting there, we're drinking and drinking and drinking, and I'm getting fidgety. Like, I can't just sit, because, like, I gotta take a piss. Like, I'm not fucking taking the chair to the bathroom, you know? So I just get up, and I walk, and I go to the bathroom. And then, as I come back, I see, like, a bouncer or whatever eyeing me up. So I go back to the chair, I sit back down, and he comes over, and he goes, what are you doing? I go, I just had to pee. He's like, well, why'd you get out of the chair? I'm like, oh, I just messed up my ankle. It's just healing, so I'm supposed to spend most of the time in the chair. I just didn't want to take it to the bathroom. So the guy goes, okay, fine, but you gotta stay in the chair. So I go, fine. So now I'm stuck back in the fucking chair again, right? And as we're there, I'm drinking. Like, I'm getting shit-faced. I had no recollection of this fucking night until the next day when I woke up and whoever had been with us, someone, had taken Polaroids of the entire night. So I had to, when I got up, there was a whole lineup of pictures in sequence of what happened all night. Because I had, up until getting to the bar in the wheelchair, I don't remember like most of it. All this that I'm telling you is what people told me about what happened. Okay? Because I don't remember shit. So then at some point, as I'm sitting in this chair, at the side, like beside, you know, at this table with this friend of mine. And of course, we're just shooting the shit and coming up with like we're fucking college dudes. Like, we're coming up with stupid shit to do, you know? So we're having drinking games, challenging each other to, like, shots and all this stuff. And then at some point, this guy orders a specific type of beer and it comes with, like, a really nice cup. So they gave him this really nice cup and he looks at me, he's like, dude, I want this cup. We got to take this cup home. I'm like, where do you expect me to put this fucking cup? Okay? I'm not putting it down my pants, and I'm not sitting on that all night. No fucking way. So if you still have it at the end of the night, we could tuck it in the chair somewhere. We'll see what happens. So he tried his best to hang on to this cup. No cup. Couldn't happen. So then as the night progresses, again, I start to get fidgety because I can't just sit still. Like, I'm hammered. I need to move, you know? And so I got up, and I'm pushing the chair. I'm pushing the chair now in front of me as if there's like a ghost in the chair and I'm, you know, wheeling it around the bar. So I'm talking to people, we're hanging out, I'm meeting other, like, new people and stuff. And then again, the security guard comes by, he's like, what are you doing out of your chair? And I go, I'm sorry, man, I was getting antsy, I gotta sit down. But I think I'm saying it like, hey, man, it's okay, I thought I was just getting a little thing. But I was drunk. So I was definitely more like, so I was sitting in the chair. I sat in the chair. And then the chair was like, no. And then I got up out of the chair. And then I was like, yeah, I'm walking now. I'm sure that's more how it went. Because I remember at that point, the guy saying to me, don't get out of the chair again. And I had to sit back down in the chair. But the beauty of the chair was that a lot of women paid me attention because they were like, oh, no, poor you, what happened? I'm like, my ankle, I fucked it up. Oh, no. And they were like, oh, my God, baby, are you okay? And then drinks would just come. Like, that's how guys get free drinks, dude. That's how you do it. You just break something and be in a wheelchair. Ladies will be like, let me get you this. I'm not shitting you. There's a point where there's a picture of me with the chair behind me and my arm around 3 girls on either side. I don't know where they came from. I'm not even sure who they were. Like, but because I had a wheelchair, these people were like, hey, look at this guy. Let's be sympathetic. And I was like, I will absolutely take pity, pussy. No problem. Did I? No, because I got way too drunk and don't remember shit. So then as the night wears on, me and my buddy, who has now like decided that he is leaving the bar with something from the bar, because like we got this wheelchair in and I pulled some cockamamie story to get me in past the security with the ID, and they were just like, okay, cool, have fun. And then and so he decided, he's like, I gotta take something. So we look up and there's the fucking dartboard. Dude, okay. So he looks up at it and he goes, I want the dartboard. And I go, oh, okay, well, like, we could take that because it'll fit right under the seat cushion. So at some point, we had 2 guys stand up in front. He pops off the dartboard, and we slip it under the thing, and we take it back with us. We got out scot-free. Nobody noticed. And the best part was, okay, when I left the bar, because again, you have to keep in mind, I was super drunk and I was just trying to have a good time. I was not in any way trying to mimic or imitate or make fun of any kind of people. Okay, I was just trying to find a creative way to get into the bar as an underage kid at the time, and I was really good at making friends and doing stupid shit. Okay, so I got drunk and I did stupid shit. So then at the end of the night, because I think things are funny sometimes that some other people don't think are funny, I will do shit because it amuses me, all right? So as we're leaving the bar, me and the guy that had got the beer earlier in the day are ready to leave. So the security guard goes, hey, why don't you wait for the elevator and go up in the elevator? And I was like, no, I don't like the elevator. I was like, I'm claustrophobic, man, I don't think so. So he's like, okay, well, there's stairs over here, or you can go that way. And I'm like, I'm in a wheelchair, I can't. And the guy goes, well, I'll just go around the other side of the building. So I go out back where there's this big, huge, like, walkway of stairs, right? And then you look to the right, and there's a little pathway that takes you back around the front of the building. So I could have just wheeled my sorry little ass around the building and gone back up and played into the whole vibe. But not Justin. No, sir. He's got to piss people off and find it hilarious. I took that wheelchair, dude. You know what I did with that wheelchair? I wheeled up to the base of the stairs, okay? And then I'm going up those stairs. But the entire bar is unloading into this, like, you know, common area out back. And, like, lots of people are taking the stairs. Perfectly, you know, able-bodied people are like, I'm going up the stairs. And a lot of them are very nice and concerned citizens. This is why I think that for the most part, people are super nice. But every single one of them stopped to ask if I needed help going up the stairs. Because presumably I'm in a wheelchair and cannot go up the stairs because wheelchair, right? So a bunch of people go, there's like, I think there was a guy and 2 girls, one on either side. And they go, oh, can we help you go up the stairs? And I go, no, I have to do this on my own. And I can do this myself. I don't need any help. And I stand up and I turn around and I pick the chair up over my head, pressing it down so that the dartboard does not fall out. Okay. And I charge up the stairs like nothing is wrong. The dudes started laughing. Okay. The girls, not so much. I got called every fucking name in the book. Okay. When it came down to fucking, yeah. I thought it was pretty funny, man. From the time that I did the whole hallelujah, praise Jesus thing at the front of the bar when getting in, like, I got in, my ID was so bad, okay, dude? It was so fucking bad. My ID was it didn't look like me, like, not even kinda. You know what I'm saying? So That and the fact that I got in by just playing up this couldn't walk, now I can walk thing, and then I've got this wheelchair, dude, it was a gimmick. So I charge up, I get to the top of the stairs, I'm holding this fucker tight to my head. My buddy's beside me like, oh my god, I can't believe you just fucking did that, okay? And I put the chair down, and then I sit back in it as if I had not just ran upstairs and start to wheel myself away. As a bunch of dudes are laughing, and a bunch of women are telling me I'm a piece of shit. That I remember, probably because, you know, a lot of people called me a piece of shit. Maybe it was a piece of shit move, but it was also kind of funny. You know? Sometimes shitty things are hilarious. But then instead of just like, you know, taking my ass and going home for the night and being like, we're done because I'm this drunk that I would do these stupid things, I decide, no, I'm not done partying. Okay? I want to go across campus and see if there's another party, because I had heard from somebody that across campus there was another party. So hammered me and my buddy decide, yeah, let's fucking keep partying, you know? So we take turns wheeling each other over there in the wheelchair. This time, obviously, we don't have rollerblades, so it's like running and pushing, right? And I end up back in the wheelchair as we approach the party. So I get to the party, and we wheel in. It's an outdoor one. It was all outside of this one residence in like this little quad area. So I wheel my way in with the chair. And people, if you're in a chair, people just be like, oh my god, come here, let's dance. And like, you're dancing and shit, right? So I'm doing wheelies and spinning around, like just having a drunk old time, right? And then through the crowd comes a friend of mine, well, a family friend, I guess, who I played like basketball with years and years before, comes walking through the crowd. She's like, Justin, you're in a wheelchair? I go, no, I'm fine. And I stand up and like, look, and lift up the chair. Dude, that crowd, I've never seen people go from like, hee hee, fun, to, oh, I don't want to know you. You're a fucking prick. Like, it was just a joke. I was just drunk. You know what I was trying to do? I was trying to preserve my physical capabilities, because had I not left if I had left the residence without that wheelchair, dude, I would have hit so many walls walking around. I was so drunk that night. We didn't get home until fucking like 6 or 7 in the morning. Fucking crawl into bed. Yeah, it was a good time. And then, so then the next day, well, the same day, I guess, because we crawled into bed at 7, around 2 in the afternoon, my roommate and I are still out cold. We hear this knock on our door. Apparently, neither of us had locked the door. So, as we're laying in bed, and this knock comes, and then in comes our RA, and she goes, "Hey, I got a question for you guys." She'd been going around all the residents, the floors of the residents that she's the RA of, and she would be going through asking people if they had heard of anybody in her section that is in a wheelchair. So she was asking all the rooms, and everyone's like, no, what are you talking about? She gets to our room, and she goes, hey, so I got a bunch of people have been talking to me about the guy in the wheelchair that's like super fun, but kind of a dick. And my roommate and I just bust out laughing. I look at her and I go, yeah, that was me. She goes, what the fuck? I'm like, well, I didn't think I'd get into the bar without it, so I just took it and, literally rode with it. It was just a good time. She goes, well, the campus is divided on whether you're funny, fun, or just a complete asshole. I was like, well, it's probably a little mix of everything, Because you can't have fun without being a bit of an asshole. You know what I'm saying? That was a fun night. That was one of the best nights I think I ever had at university. It was the fact that it was like all day and all night. It became like a big thing, It became the story. And the fact that we got known as the guys in the wheelchair, like, I don't know. That had, kind of like epic school stories written all over it. You know what I'm saying? But I also like to do dumb shit when I'm high and stoned. So, in a second, I'm going to tell you about one other university story that was stupid fucked. But let's review these Cherry Sour Squad infused pals. They're 40%. I don't know if it has like a terp profile. It doesn't really. No. It doesn't. But they're long cigarette rolled kind of things. If I remember correctly, the paper is also infused so that it gives you like that sour candy kind of flavor, not just like the weed flavor. They are pretty tasty. I've already had one. I had one of the other people at the store got to try one too. She said it made her cough quite a bit. I didn't have that. I didn't notice that until near the end. So during the beginning, like the first light of it, it's very tasty, very much like cherry and sour, and I think that's because the paper's infused, so it gives you that taste. But yeah, I found it to be pretty tasty all the way through, up until about 3/4 of the way, and then it started to kind of taste like blech. And it doesn't really make me cough, even though it's like a bolder smoke. It hits you more in the back of the throat. I wouldn't say that they're overly strong, like 40%, maybe. But maybe it's just the strain, whatever strain it is. It doesn't, when I buy an infused smoke, right? I want that thing to kick my ass. Like, I want to smoke that and then not want to smoke anything for the next, like, 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? That's what I expect from an infused. These are more infused on the side. Like, they're infused. But what I mean is they're more for the experienced smoker that's like, I need a little more. You know what I mean? Like, the size and the duration of the smoke of this joint. It goes pretty quick. You could smoke it, like if you were a daily smoker and you smoked something before going to work, you could smoke this, easily in your morning routine very quickly. Or if you get home from work and you want a quick smoke and you don't have time to like spend a lot of time away, from like family or whatever you're doing, then this is a good like, okay, I'll get sufficiently high, a little more high than I would if I smoked a regular joint of this size. But it's not gonna, ruin my world for an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's just kind of like slightly stronger than what you would buy if it wasn't infused. Yeah. I think these are a hybrid. I don't know if they lean indica. I think maybe they're supposed to, but it's not, if it's an indica, it's not like a put you out indica. The only problem that I have with these style, not necessarily from these guys, Palmetto, not from these guys, but from other people, this open light, like Pinner's cigarette style, generally loses quite a bit of weed in its packaging before you get the chance to smoke it. So that's really the only downside. Even though I'm an advocate for packing all the way to the end of your joint, you're going to lose some weed. But I don't think that the cigarette style really like allows you, and especially the packaging, unless you can get like I don't know, you need like a tube or something to cap off the end so that it doesn't fall off, like, oh, maybe you could put like little rubber caps over them so that you don't lose a chunk of weed. But then again, you probably have the weed would probably get stuck to the rubber, and then you pull the rubber off and you pull the whole like even more out. I don't know. But these aren't bad. They're not like great. But they're for like a mid-range, if you want just like a quick little high. These seem to be pretty good for that. You get a nice little body buzz. Not too much of the head, but you also don't get like all crashy and burnt out. You get more leveled out. So I'd say if you have like anxiety or something like that, these would be a good one to take the edge off. So that you could just be like, okay, I don't have to worry right now. That's the don't worry weed. So I guess the question is, would I buy these again? I don't know if I would buy these again. They're good for what they are, but are they something that I would buy on a regular basis? No. Could I see other people buying them on a regular basis? Yes. Because the flavor in these are really good, and they don't even have keef on it. Normally you have to have like seemingly quite a bit of keef to get a really like potent flavor, but to a lot of the times, to a certain extent, that potent keef kind of flavor or added flavor starts to get a little too potpourri-like, and I find it really hard to inhale. Like, it's more like shisha at that point, you know? So with these, I think this is the right amount of flavor. I just wish the joint was a little bit bigger. Like, I'd go for something, yeah, a little fatter. I don't really mind the rolls. This one burned really well, actually. And nothing really fell out of the end. So maybe with the concentrate, you won't lose as much of the weed in storage as you do in some of the regular flour, because the concentrate probably keeps it like bound together a little better. Do I think that these are worth the try? I absolutely think these are worth the try. Would I buy them again? I probably would not buy them again. Could I see other people buying them again? Yeah, but everybody buys everything. It depends on what the price is, because I don't know exactly what the price is, because like I said, these were a gift to me to try. So it depends on what the price is. If this is like $15, $17, I would say yes. If it's over 20, well, no, let's think, because it's infused. So if it's 20, yeah, if it's like $17 or $18, buy it again. If it's $20 or more, no. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only $5. I don't know. We'll see. Because it is infused. And it is tasty. It's right about this point where it starts to get a little, like, harsh, I guess you could say. Would I buy them again? No. I would not buy these again. Would I recommend them? Yes, to certain people. So that is the verdict for this week. It's been done. Yeah. These are, they're good for what they are, but they're not necessarily something I would keep in my repertoire of smokage. Okay. Let me tell you about, and it's a short burn. Like, that was not a very long review of this, and it's already out. Most of the time it's still going, and I'm, talking like an idiot. Okay, anyway. So let me tell you to close this session out, I'm going to tell you another little quick story about this thing I did in university, and it was all due to the fact that I chose partying over learning. Okay? Partying over education. It was a stupid move. But here's what I did. Okay, so I had taken this science class. It was all about optics. It was like the eye. I remember that because I only took it for one semester, but I needed a science class, so I took this class that was all about the eyeball, essentially, and like how the eye worked and how optics worked and all this stuff. I forget what type of anything it was, okay? I just know that I had to have this class, so I took this class. I went to maybe 2 of the classes, because again, I partied a lot. I did not do schoolwork. I'm a douche, okay? So I didn't go to this class, really. The last class that I had gone to, they had told us that it was at a certain spot, like a room, like, obviously, like, you get the assignment for where the room and the exam is going to be. So I had that. So I hadn't gone to class in, like, I don't know, a week or 2. And I figured I'll just go to the exam and I'll do really well on the exam. I did not do well on the exam. But that's what I figured. So I go to where the room is. I get there. First of all, it's the wrong room. Okay? Second of all, he had changed the time. So it was like an hour earlier, I think. And I end up seeing all the people coming out of that exam. Or no, sorry. It was an hour. No, wait. Okay, so the time was the same. It was in the wrong room. And then, am I getting this right? Yeah, I am. Okay, so there were 2 instances. I'll tell you the second one. Sorry, anyway. So, it was the wrong room. And yeah, in this one, it was the time, they had already started the exam. And like one guy came out to go to the bathroom and I recognized him. I'm like, what is it? And he's like, oh, it's over in this room. And it started like a half an hour ago. And I'm like, well, fuck, I can't go in now. So I run back to my room and I drop the class. I don't recommend doing anything that I do, but that's what I did. That was what my 20-year-old, not even 18-year-old brain told me to do. I should fucking drop the class because that's better than having that mark of fail fall on my thing. I failed anyway. It didn't matter. I partied way too much. I was not a smart kid. So there was that one. And then there was another one where the night before, again, I had decided to party. Now, I was doing okay in this class. I think it was an economics class. And I was doing okay in this class, okay? But I needed the exam to do, to obviously, like, pick my grade up because I needed a good grade now that I had dropped this other class the day before to save myself. So I needed a way better grade in this one. Was I prepared? Probably not. Actually, I definitely wasn't because this is how it went down. The night before, my buddies get a pony keg. They sneak it into the university dorm room. They decide, let's have a party. So they have a party. I decide, fuck schoolwork, let's party. So I party. Next thing I know, it's fucking midnight. I've studied a minute amount for this exam. I find myself at 12:30 in a cornfield, okay, near like maybe 15 minutes from the university campus where one of the guys had where he grows weed in this farmer's like crop of corn, and he's showing us his buds and whatever, and we're getting high. And dude, I got so fucking high. I didn't even get high on a regular then. I periodically get high, and we smoked this shit. I think I had like 3 beers. I wasn't even going to party that hard. I was just going to hang out for a little bit, and that turned into a shit show. Next thing I know, like I said, I'm in this fucking farmer's field. We're passing around a joint. He's showing us these buds he's growing. Oh, dude. So we get back. I go to bed. I think I'm fine. I'm not too fucked up. I wake up. I am still high as shit. Okay? I don't know how I'm still high as shit, but I am still high as shit. So I go to the exam for this economics class. I sit down. They pass out the papers for the exam. Okay? I'm sitting there trying to read the exam, and I can't decipher it. Like, I'm an idiot. I am so stoned. I can't read properly. I can't see the like it looked like the letters were just going to get up and walk off the page. Like, shit was fucked for me. So I'm sitting there at the table, looking down at this exam, being like, okay, don't know what I'm gonna do here. And I'm thinking about whether or not I can handle this. And should I just finish fast and like hope for the best? Should I take my time and possibly lose it? Or should I just say fuck it and like just go, because I had already dropped the class the day before. So I was like, I could just do any of these things. It doesn't matter. I was a loser. Okay. So anyway, I decide I'm going to try and work through it. So I'm working through it. And then there's a certain point where I heard somebody like raise their hand for a question. And I look over and one of the moderators is coming down. There's like 3 aisles down, the tiers of seats, right? And I look over and this fucking moderator looks like they're surfing down the aisle. Like, I was definitely hallucinating something, right? So I look and I'm like, that's fucked. So I go back to my paper and now I really can't figure anything out. And then my whole thought process is stuck on, did that guy really just surf down the aisle, or am I just like really losing it? What did I smoke last night? What the fuck happened? How did I end up in a farmer's field? Am I sure I didn't get abducted by fucking aliens? Like, dude, I was fucked. So I'm doing the paper and I try to speed up a little bit and then I keep getting sidetracked. Finally, I look over and and there's another moderator and he looks like he's fucking surfing up the aisle. And I go, okay, that is it. And I just go through and all the ones that were like multiple choice, I would just circle whatever I thought. I filled in everything as fast as I could. You know what's funny? I handed that exam in and I still got over 50. Okay. But yeah, when I went to university, I was a douchebag, man. I really just partied. That was all I did my first year, man. That's all I wanted to do was drink and fucking... It was the first time I was away from home. And I was like, I don't want to say I was forced into going to university, but that was the expectation. And I was like, I'm not so sure I'm ready for university. And then when I got sent, I got there and I was like, oh my God, I could do all this fun shit all the time and no one's telling me to do math. Perfect. you know? Yeah, I really wish I had applied myself to the higher education that I could have received instead of being the dick that fucking spoiled his first year by just getting fucking blottoed with everyone he met. I'll tell you what though, it was a pretty good fucking time, man. And if I didn't do those things, I wouldn't have a story like taking a wheelchair up a flight of stairs and getting yelled at and laughed at the same time. I wouldn't have stories about dropping classes because I was worried about saving my average. I wouldn't have fun time stories about the parties and the hijinks and shenanigans you get up to as a university student. So I fully enjoy the fact that I did the things that I did, even though I do wish I could have done them smart and a little more, different. That would have been much better. Anyway, those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. Thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, on Thoughts Off the Stem. Hope you come back next week on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, YouTube, Good Pods, Podchaser, Podbean, Pandora. I don't know who or if I forgot to mention anything, but you can check it all out at tots420.com. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby. Oh, come on. Yeah.